The first step is to take out all of the cardboard in both of the frames along with the back stands. You'll only need one of the frames, but 2 pieces of glass. The next step is to print off your design and make sure it fits nicely within your frame. Place the reverse image under the glass centered as you would like it to appear once it is framed, and then trace the image onto the glass with a permanent marker. Then turn that piece over so that you are working on the side that does not have the gold marker on it. When it comes to the dried flowers, I used some that I had dried myself, but I also purchased a whole selection of pressed flowers from Amazon, and they were really great to work with. Select the pressed flowers you think are most appropriate for the design and trim off any unwanted pieces like stems and leaves. Prepare a bunch of different sizes and shapes so that you can fit them in where necessary. This project is like doing a puzzle. I even dismantled a daisy so that I could have thin, narrow petals for the hem of the dress and the edges of the dress. I also chose fluffier ivory-colored stalks. Stalks are a type of fragrant flower, somewhat like a snapdragon, and I used those to fill in the inside of the bottom portion of the dress. For the bodice, I went with pressed baby's breath as I felt it was the perfect texture for the bodice. It was easy to cut and trim for this narrow portion of the design. As you will see, I used a toothpick dipped in the liquid glue as I did not want it running past the edge of the design, nor did I want it to dry before I got to that area with the flowers. For the bouquet, I found a small pressed flower blossom that looked just like a bouquet. I trimmed some excess greenery and placed it close to her body to look like she was holding it. The veil, I have to say, was my favorite part of this project. When I was unpacking the pressed flowers, I found these small flowers on long stems that curve so gracefully. I knew they would be perfect to represent a flowy veil. It was important for the veil to be delicate and have life, so removing those gold lines was a good decision. Otherwise, it would have looked bulky and messy. Look how wonderful it turned out. What a special gift this would be to give to a new bride or to a friend on her anniversary. I hope you enjoyed this project.
Here we have a child's hula hoop that we picked up at the dollar store. So in order to secure our flowers, we're going to have to work in a pool noodle. So pool noodles come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. I just chose a green one from the dollar store as well. And all we're going to do is cut through one side of the pool noodle. Just like that. So we're going to do that for the full length of the pool noodle. So what we're going to do is open it up and work it right inside the hula hoop. And we're going to circulate the pool noodle all the way around. So once you get all the way around, you're going to notice that we have a little spot missing. We're going to cut into a second pool noodle and do the same exact process. And what we can do to one side is we can just take some tape and we're going to secure the 2 pieces together. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now I just have some white satin ribbon. To secure it, I'm going to use a couple floral pins and I'm going to add some hot glue to the ends to really make sure it's nice and permanent. And we'll work in 2 floral pins to make sure it's secure. Now what we can do is start wrapping this. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to add a lot of greenery and flowers to cover it up. So we're going to continue this motion all the way around. So now that we're at the end, we can secure it with a couple more floral pins, but this is how the base turned out. Now it's time to enhance this. Now we have some grape leaves, and I think this is going to be the perfect way of creating a whimsical design. And all we're going to do is snip off each individual stem. I added a generous amount of hot glue, and all we're going to do is just lift up the ribbon and poke it right in. So we're going to start with a single layer, and then we can fill in as necessary. Another important thing that I want to mention is I am working in all of this greenery in the same direction. Doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but all of this greenery is going this way, which happens to be clockwise. So I came back in with 2 more bushes. This is the last 2 pieces from those 2 bushes. And I'm just placing them again around the edges to bulk up this design. Up next, we have some dogwood flowers, and you can find these from nixseasonaldecor.com as well. We're going to take them, dip them in our glue skillet, pull back the greenery that we've already worked in, and have them at the surface. Now I have this hanging foliage that you can also find from our website. So it's only wired to a certain point and then the rest just cascades. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to separate each piece. We don't need them nearly as long, and we're going to trim them about in half. So we're going to take it, add a little bit of hot glue, and do the same thing that we've been doing, just working it underneath the ribbon. And this is going to look like this for now, but once we hang it up, you're going to see that it has a really nice cascade to it. To hang this up, I'm going to use some of our wire. We carry this in both silver and gold on our website. And I'm just going to take that wire, wrap it around the pool noodle and hula hoop. So the reason we worked in a hula hoop is simply and solely to make the pool noodle more rigid. That way it doesn't flop over time. And I'm just going to tie it right into place. We're going to want to tie it in a triangular-like fashion, so try to make an equilateral triangle where these are spaced perfectly even. And our third and final one will go right here. Cut off a length of the wire. And now what we're going to do is find all 3 wires and hold them really tight. So right here is where we're going to put a little knot. So right here is where we're going to take another length of wire and create a little knot. And now our chandelier will be nice and level. So now let's hang this up and show you how it looks in my garden. And here is how it looks, you guys, hanging from my tree. Again, all I've done is just secured those 3 wires to a main branch, and I love the way this looks, especially when it's windy out and it's just kind of rotating. Feel free to spruce it up with whatever color you have in mind. I chose white and kept it green, and I think it looks really pretty having just that natural greenery all the way around.
Take a large-sized mirror and give it a good cleaning. Then, wipe down the glass with some rubbing alcohol. Lay a ruler on the mirror and measure out the distance you want for some lettering. With this chalk pen, draw a line to serve as a guide or a plumb line. Then, take the chalk pen and start writing your own wedding event welcome message. Some ideas are, welcome to our wedding, welcome to the wedding of, or even just welcome. You can add the date of the wedding and, of course, front and center, the name of the bride and groom. If you make a mistake, the chalk pen wipes off and you can try again. This does not need to be perfect as it is a template for your final lettering. In fact, my printing and script writing is far from perfect and is not the most elegant. Once your message looks how you want it, take a Sharpie paint pen and trace over the chalk pen. Vary the thickness of your script on your different lines to create variety within the wording. Once you are satisfied with your design, let it set for at least 30 minutes. Then, simply wipe away the chalk marker. Place in the entrance area of your event to give your guests a personal welcome to your special day. Mirror, mirror on the wall, I hope this inspired you to create this welcome for all. Thanks for watching Home Talk, and see you next time.